Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys have had a great week. We're one day closer to the weekend. This is the Juice Box Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. Sweet B Bones Bryles is joining me tonight. Chris is on vacation, so hope you guys fun out in Florida. Bryles, how's it going, man?
Good, buddy. Not as good as Chris, who's about to jump on a cruise ship and start drinking daiquiris and turning his phone off. But it's still been it's been a good week, other than Astros baseball, which obviously we're going to get into. Today was a little bit of a different story, so we still have a glimmer of hope. I know that the email you sent me earlier on the on the headline said Cancun on it. We're not in Cancun quite yet, but these Astros are going to have to pull it together a little bit better than what they've done, at least for this series against the A's. And I know we're about to break that down, but other than that, yeah, it was a great week or a great start to the week, man. So how about you?
Just been busy. Same stuff, different day. You know how it goes. Staying up late. I take that back. I mean, I've been staying up late, not so much watching the Astros, more so watching it on GameCast, right? We talked about on Sunday what we needed to do these last 6 games. 5-1 was like the absolute minimum you had to do. 6-0 was obviously ideal. And yeah, look, we've seen how the Astros play the A's all season. I mean, it really is not just this season. The A's always play us tough.
Agreed.
Always. This season has been just different. They've played us a lot. They played us a lot harder, right? So, we knew it was going to be tough. The thing is it's the A's. It's the A's, right? Luis Severino, that's a perfect example. But I'm going to kind of get ahead of myself because it just goes to show, like, he is in the top 5 for the highest ERA at home this season. And we go in there, and this is the Tuesday game, right? This is the Wednesday game. And you get shut out, and you only have 5 hits. And Hunter Brown doesn't have Hunter Brown stuff, right? So
gave up 4.
You gave up 4 in 5 innings. So before we get into all this, I kind of want to get your temp, right? I posted something on X today to kind of like in a response to a post that I had seen the night before. So I'm somewhere in the middle of let's see how this plays out, and also take me out of my misery, right? I'm somewhere in the middle of that. So I'm kind of curious, what's your temp? What was your temp going into this week, these last 6 games, without knowing, that we lost the series to Oakland or Sacramento, whatever?
Well, let's think about it this way. I mean, we were at home. We had a very crucial series against the Mariners. I mean, you've got to scratch across 1 win, 2 preferable. Sweep would have been perfect, and they got none of that. They got swept at home against the Mariners. It looked like a defeated team that I don't expect to go anywhere in the playoffs or anything like that. So coming into this A's series, and it was kind of funny. It's like you're looking at like baseball as a whole, what the wild card series looks like, what all the standings look like. And I didn't have a lot of faith. And I understand where you're saying that it's like, you're somewhere in the middle. And I feel the same way. It's like, hey, listen, anytime we can go to the playoffs, that's going to be a plus. Anytime that we've got some action in postseason in October, that's always fun. Who doesn't love October baseball? We've been so used to it. I mean, since 2015, and then, I mean, obviously missing the 2016 season. But other than that, we've been in there over and over and over again and successful every single time. So the fact that, we were in the outside looking in is not a good feeling. So what does that feel like? And I think I'm probably going to speak for Chris on this one because I know he gets a little bit more negative Nancy on this. but it's, what do you want? Do you want to like get a clean sweep on this team and then just kind of start over, start rebuilding, get rid of some of these contracts, get rid of the coaching staff, do all that? Or do you want to chalk this up to, hey, listen, we had a whole bunch of injuries. We've done the best we possibly could, probably overachieved, especially in the month of July. I can guarantee you we did that. But, going to the playoffs, what does that look like? And the one thing I don't want to see us limp into the playoffs because the Tigers did an even worse job than we did. And then all of a sudden we get swept out of that first round. That's what I don't want to see. I want to see these guys come out here and fight, and I want to actually see something that's going to make us look good. So if we can do that, then I'm good with it. If they come out just with the same baseball we saw against the Mariners, and then I know we're about to get into the A series, but if we see what we saw against the Mariners, no, I want them to miss the playoffs 100% because they've got to retool and figure stuff out, and it is a waste of everybody's time. But if they can get their bootstraps up and actually get out there and go play with some heart, then yes, I want to see that. I want to see that 100 times more than them giving up like they looked like they already did.
Yeah, I don't know. I really just don't know because I agree. I agree to some level, with what Chris has said in the past, which was, he wants them to miss the play. Not wants them, but he thinks that the only way that, there's going to be a reshuffling is if the Astros, miss the playoffs, and then you're kind of forced to do some reshuffling. So I see that point for sure. And like, I'm kind of there, but then I'm also like, God damn, man, like we've been in the playoffs for the last 10 seasons, right? Last season was we backed our way into it, right? We backed our way into the postseason. It was evident in the series against the Tigers. The Tigers came in really freaking hot, right?
Oh, smoking hot.
And we couldn't match up. So then the other thing I think about is I think about the teams that have beat us in the World Series. Atlanta, the Nationals. They were not a good team throughout the entire season, those seasons. And they got hot at the end of the season, and it catapulted them into the playoffs, right? You saw you saw
look at the D-backs last year.
The D-backs. I mean, yeah. So there's three teams of recent that have gone on a run straight into the postseason, made a deep run. Two of them win the series with the Braves and the Nationals. So, I mean, we know it can happen. I think for me, it's like we're used to. We're kind of spoiled. Not kind of. We're very spoiled in the fact of typically we have the division wrapped up into August, early September. We're not in this predicament very often. So I don't know. I really don't know where I'm at. I literally am right in the middle of, okay, come on, guys, like get the shit together, get the wins together, get the bats going. Let's see what happens. And then the other time, and then on Monday or Tuesday, I'm like, no, this is it. I'm done. I'm done with it. Right. It's frustrating to watch. So we'll see, man. I mean, look, you have to, I mean, we're I guess the way this conversation episode's going, we're kind of going ass backwards, right? We'll get into the A's. We'll talk about the Angels, but we're going to start with the Angels because of the importance of it. And that's, you have to sweep the Angels, period, in the story. Like, that's it. You have to finish this season at 4-2. On top of sweeping the Angels, you've got to have help, right? You could have picked up You could have picked up a game today, but Detroit won. They won 4-2, right? Like Detroit lost last night. I think they lost the night before. Like, you could have picked up games on these guys, but you didn't beat Oakland or Sacramento, whatever, right? So now you're in the final series. Now Detroit's got Boston this weekend, I think. No, Detroit's got
Detroit does have Boston. You're correct. And they're in Boston as well.
You're right. So, Boston's sitting pretty good at the number 2 spot. So first things first, you got to take care of your business. You got to sweep the Angels, and then you need Boston to win 2 out of 3. You got to sweep, and they got to win 2 out of 3. You don't own the tiebreaker against Detroit. You cannot finish with the same record as them. right? You have to have a full game on them. So huge series this weekend. It was a huge series earlier this week. It was a huge series the weekend before. We keep Santor blue in the face. And what's going to happen? So let's get this Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas series kicked off.
The Philadelphia A's of Oakland in West Sacramento and soon to be in Las Vegas.
I just always think there was a song back in the day called Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. So that's what I think about whenever I'm describing all three teams for Oakland, Sacramento, Vegas, right? So yeah, let's get started, man. So we got Tuesday's game. Tuesday's game, you had Javier pitching, and you had, I don't even know his first name. Last name is Springs, right?
Yeah.
He was 10-11 coming into the game. Javier was coming off of his longest outing, the outing before, right? So you were hoping that he was going to continue that momentum into this outing. And again, you're playing the A's in a minor league park where the ball kind of flies. Doesn't fly as good as Tampa, but it flies, right? And you do nothing. You were tied 1-1 after 2, and then that was it. You had 3 hits on Tuesday. That's what you did. Let's see. Correa, 2 walks. Myers had a walk. And then you go Cole, 2 Ks. Paredes had a K. Myers with a K. Dubon. Altuve's over 4. I mean, look, Christian Walker went 2 for 4. I'm telling you, man, like this guy shows up not when you don't need him, but when it's kind of insignificant, for the most part. And I think that's been amongst a lot of other stuff. That's been a huge frustration.
Yeah, you've brought that up a number of times, and I agree with you. It has been that way. So for that Tuesday game, I was pretty stoked. I was like, okay, we gotta do this. It's like it is go time. We've got to win this game. I know the game started at 9:00 Central Time for all of us in the Houston area, and it's I turned it on and knowing that I had to be up early to go to work the next day, and I was like, screw it, I'm watching this game. Well, I guess that was a little bit of a waste of my time. But at the same time, yeah, it was frustrating. PK, just like you said, everybody expects to put up big numbers in this park, which, the over-unders, I talk about that a lot. I've talked about it all season. The average is probably 7.5. So, the over-unders don't come out until the day before on every single game. So, but average 7.5. The average for all 3 of these games was 10.5. So, the ball is going to be leaving the park. And guys, if we can't score more than 1 run, we're not going to win that baseball game. Because I guarantee you, unless you got Cy Young, I mean, think back to like the greatest pitchers of all time on the other side, then yeah, you're not going to win that game. And right now, we're dealing with, what we can possibly get out on the mound that's going to give us a quality start, hopefully. So just like you were saying, PK, Javier went out there. That was his 4th start. Yeah. Yeah. So his 4th start, and, he didn't look that bad at first, and then it just kind of snowballed on him, and then it looked really bad and fell apart. So, and on top of that, I mean, our bullpen didn't look good. Our offense didn't look good. It was just one thing after another. To be quite honest with you, probably should have gone to bed sometime around 11 o'clock, but It is what it is.
Look, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm looking at the box scores for all 3 games, and I'm seeing, I mean, among other things, if we get into the postseason, I'm seeing a trend with a certain relief pitcher that can't be happening, right? And we haven't seen it since he came over, but De Los Santos, the dude
what's up with him?
Like all of a sudden has reverted back to whatever the hell he was doing in Atlanta or what, I mean, he came in yesterday, what's that, Thursday, came in on Tuesday, 1 inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk and a K, 1's across the board, right? We're going to get into Tuesday. He didn't pitch on Tuesday. Today you were leading 5-7-9. You were leading 9-0 going into the bottom of the 6th. They scored 1. and you put up another 2 runs in the 7th and 8th. So you're at 11, and going into the bottom of the 8th, you're at 11-1. Okay. He comes in and pitches a 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a home run. And I'm saying all that to say that you have these games of runs that he's given up. The Seattle series, he was giving up runs, right? And I'm almost, I can't say for sure, but I'm almost positive that the series before that, against the Rangers, he wasn't as sharp. That seems to be a growing trend with him here recently where, look, man, he's not as nails as he was when we first brought him over. So, if we make the postseason, we know the shortage of arms that we have from the starting rotation to the bullpen, what guys we trust, what guys we don't. This was a guy that we trusted, that we talked about. De Los Santos has been freaking nails the whole time. And at least the last 3 outings, he hasn't been. So you go into Tuesday. Go ahead.
I would say, let me add to that real quick, because the one thing I will say is I think he might be overworked, because just like you said, he has been absolutely nails. And then you were right, in the Ranger series, actually his ERA in the Ranger series, if I remember correctly, wasn't that bad. Like, he didn't give up a whole bunch of runs or anything like that. Now, one thing that I always pay attention to is, did he have traffic on the bases? He absolutely did, but he was getting out of it. That's the difference. So in the Mariners series, not only was he getting traffic on the bases, but he was also giving up RBI hits. So you've got to strand those runners in scoring position. He didn't do it with the Mariners, and he most definitely did not do it with the A's, who, as we've already talked about, are kryptonite, especially in Mr. Shea Langoliers and Mr. Nick Kurtz. But
Bro,
those 2
Nick
guys,
Kurtz, that kid, he's not even a dude, he's a kid. That kid mashes. Langoliers went off. Let's go into Tuesday, since you just kind of segued into that. Luis Severino's on the hill. HB's on the hill. We've said it, I don't know how many times, when HB's on the hill, we always have a chance, right? We know he's going to give us, for the most part, at least 5, keep it close. You made Luis Severino look like a Cy Young candidate. You made Springs the night before look like a Cy Young candidate. This is what we do to terrible pitchers. This is what the Astros offense does to terrible pitchers, is makes them go back to the Orioles. Go back to the Orioles. Name a series, but specifically the Orioles. When I think we played them out, they played us at home. I think we almost got no hit by this kid that was making his debut. Right? We make these terrible pitchers look amazing. And like I said earlier, Luis Severino is in the top 5 of a category you don't want to be in, which is the highest ERA at home for this season. I saw the graphic on TV. I couldn't remember where exactly he was, but he was on the top 5. And he goes out and he gives 6 1/3 or 3-hit baseball, 5 Ks and a walk. That's what Luis Severino did.
3 hits.
So, Hunter Brown goes 5, 6 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Right. Nick Hernandez comes in late, gives up Brian King. Brian King gave up runs on Wednesday night. So I think those were the back-to-back home runs, I believe. They kind of put the game out of misery.
I think it's about the time I went to bed.
Yeah. Look, man, you had no offense.
Made it 4-0.
That made it, let's see. When did they hit the home runs? 7.
Oh,
Langoliers in the 7th and Soderstrom in the 7th with 2 outs. In the inning. So that took it. That took it to 6. So it was 4-0 up until that point, right? But you weren't getting any offense. You had. Walker had a double. Correa had a double. You're over 5 runners in scoring position, right? Like, you're not doing anything to make Severino work. He probably had a low pitch count, I'm guessing. I didn't watch last night's game, man. I was so frustrated from the night before, and the fact that, like, you handed the Mariners the freaking division, which they won. They clinched last night. Like, you handed them the division. Just didn't really see any. Don't really see any fight. And it's really frustrating to watch, because we know this team is a lot better. I know we have a lot of injuries, right? But you still have guys on paper. We talk about it, right? Guys on paper that should be producing. Now, Correa, we still talk about that dude every day. That dude comes to the ballpark to play some ball every game.
He's ready to fight every single day, man. Every day.
So So that was Wednesday. Let's go into today's game. Getaway game, 2:30 first pitch. Framber, no dread. Framber's on the hill. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. But I can't. I watched the game today. I did fall asleep through part of it. I'm just so over Framber, man. I'm so over Framber. I don't care that he went 7 innings today. I don't care that he, had seven innings pitched of 1 run ball and 10 Ks. Like, I don't care. I'm over it.
But you got to understand too, though, that this game was not like a Fromberg game. What this was a team understanding, hey, you just lost 5 in a row. You got swept by the Mariners. You flew to West Sacramento, I almost said Oakland. You flew to West Sacramento to come play. You lost the first 2 games in embarrassing fashion, by the way. You put up 0 runs on Wednesday, which, I mean, there's absolutely no excuse for that. I mean, I don't care if you had Zach Cole, Jesus Sanchez, and Urias in the game. That's not an excuse. You've got to put runs up. So with the win today, they finally realized, hey, listen, this season is over. We are done if we don't win today. And they put 11 runs on the board. Now, listen, I'm not asking for them to put 11 runs on the board every single game when it comes to stuff like this. But by God, if you could have stretched this out from the 3 games, we could have at least taken 2 out of the 3 to go into Los Angeles with a little less pressure on you. I sincerely hope on the plane, well, I guess they're going Sacramento to LA. So, yeah, they're on a plane. Anyway, so I sincerely hope on the plane, on all those TVs, on the plane, they were just playing the Seattle Mariners, popping champagne, partying, getting down, hanging out with their, AL West championship shirts and hats on and just having a great time. I hope that was on repeat until they landed. I hope they sat on the tarmac for 2 hours with that on replay, because these guys are going to have to go into this series with not just a little bit of fight, but they better go just on fire and pissed off the whole time and ready to play some baseball.
So what I noticed today, and like a little bit that I watched, was that our approaches at the plate were a lot more disciplined, a lot more. We weren't free swinging, right? We were looking for our pitch. I think Walker went oppo, right? Not because he was late, but because like he went oppo, right? Like it was looking for that pitch outside. And so it just looked like a different approach for today's game. It goes back to, I think what you're saying is your back is against the wall. You have to win today, or you can just, if you don't, you can just wrap up this weekend series, be a little bit closer to Cabo because you're going to be in Anaheim, right? Like, go up there, have patience at the plate, get your pitches, swing at strikes. I mean, look, Yiner still does Yiner things, but there's a lot better outcome. And that's why I posed the question to you, was because, like, I should be pumped. I should be happy. I'm not unhappy about it. I'm glad we won. We still have a chance, right? But it's like, where has this been for 5 games? Fromber, where has this been for a freaking month? Like, where's this been?
2 months, 3 months.
Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm just kind of being negative Nancy, because it's just frustrating to watch. You watch this team all season long, and you see what this team can do with the roster that's not even fully healthy. Go back to July, right, and watch that whole month. And for the most part, you're still running with the same guys. Now you got a rotating door in your starting rotation, but like the thing with Fromber, for me, was as soon as he pegged Salazar on the chest with his sinker at 94, that was it. The reaction to it, I was like, all right, and so we probably saw, if we don't make the postseason, if we did make the postseason, we definitely, I think, have seen the last time Fromber pitches for Astros today, right? And it's kind of bullshit that he went out the way. If that's the case, that's the way he went out. I know you're playing the A's, right? Like, he's got like a sub 3 ERA in a career against them. I get it, right? But you've also played some crap teams in between this start and the last 10, right? That Promer's made. So maybe you should have cut the dreads off. He didn't have the dreads on anymore, or the braids, whatever they were. Well, yeah, today was 11. It was 11-5. It was 11-1, dude. But like De Los Santos came in and gave up runs, and so it made it a little bit closer than it should have been. I mean, you basically beat the brakes off of them today. You had to do that, like you said. So yeah, man, that was a series. That was a series. 1-2, one out of 3. Against the A's when you really needed it. You traveled down the coast down to Anaheim, finished the season off with 3 against Anaheim. You got the probables for them?
Yeah. So coming up tomorrow for the Astros, we've got the assistant to the traveling secretary, Sean Alexander. What am I talking about?
That's old running back, man.
Yeah, I know. I was reading an article about him earlier. So anyway, that's where that came from. Anyway, Alexander 4-2 with a 4.83 ERA going up against Kyle Hendricks, 8-10 with a 4.79 ERA. So we know Alexander's pitched really well. Hopefully he can pull that one out. Saturday, we are TBD against a rookie, Dana, who is 0-3 with a 6.39 ERA. Sunday, we are also TBD against Al DeGarry, another rookie. He is 0-1 with an 8 ERA. So we
don't let the ERAs fool you.
Do not let them fool you. These are guys that they have pulled up from AAA to see, or they're basically scouting them to see if they're going to be able to use them next year or if they're going to use them for trade bait. That I guarantee you that's what that is. So these guys are going to be pitching like it's World Series Game 7, and they're giving you everything they got. So PK, oh man, we got a big series, man. This is for the season. What do you got?
Well, I have to go sweep because that's what you have to do. You have to do that. Chris, by the way, for everyone, is he has taken off his homer hat. He has his bag packed for Cancun. He has taken a 1-2 Angels series win, which in turn would knock the Astros out. So that's Chris's prediction. Like I'm going to sweep. You have to have the sweep. That's the only way you're going to have a chance to get in because you need help.
Yeah, we've had the graphic up with what our records are on all of our predictions for the entire season, and I know I'm in the middle on this one, but at the same time, I don't really care what my record looks like right now because the only thing that's going to matter is putting wins on the board for the Astros. And I'm telling you, I do think Alexander is going to be able to come in there, give us a quality start. I'm not saying he's not going to give up runs. I think he's probably going to give up 2 over 5, but we are going to be in Anaheim. And after we just put up 11, I mean, we've gone out there and proven these guys can actually hit. I don't know what Espada has in him to actually go in here and get these guys ramped up. Quite frankly, I don't even care what Espada has in him to get him ramped up because I know the one guy that's going to be walking up and down the aisles of that plane and smacking people around in the clubhouse and getting them ready is going to be Carlos Correa. Mm-hmm. I am so glad that he is back because we needed that spark of a dude that cares and not only cares, but is going to go out there and do the rally cry for the entire team. So I think for our TBD games, listen, it's all hands on deck. I don't care. We're not saving arms. We're not trying to go out there and make sure everybody's got 5 days of rest or whatever their normal schedule is. They're going to go out there and throw anybody they possibly can to try to get in the playoffs. And if they don't, then we deserve to lose. So, PK, I'm rolling with you. I'm going with a sweep. I think that our guys are going to play with their hair on fire. I think they're going to do everything they possibly can. I know the A's, listen, the Angels aren't going to go out there and roll over on us. Right. But at the same time, what they are going to do is try to test out some of the young kids that they have. So they're going to go out there and they're going to try to beat us, but they're also going to try to beat us with youth. So we need to come out there and make them realize that I don't care what kind of a AAA team they're throwing out there, that we're going to actually dominate them. So our boys better be ready, and they better be in prime position to come out here, get all 3 of these games, and not even make it close.
Yeah, so that, like, to go to your point with everybody's available, your rotation is going to be screwed up anyway, even if you make the postseason, because you're probably going to see Hunter Brown this weekend. Like, you're going to see him. He'll make his last start of the season,
yeah.
right? So your rotation is going to be messed up going into. Let's say okay, we finish on Sunday. I think the wild card starts on Tuesday, right? So
yeah,
I mean, you're not getting. You're going to get our number. Shit, I don't even know. Maybe you might get a blue ball game 1 start. That's what you might get.
That's what I was just about to say. You might get a blue ball Gordon piggyback start
for game 1.
Wild card series game 1, assuming we make it in.
Assuming we make it. Yeah, that's what you would get. It's actually what you would get, because Proverbs today, Javier was on Monday. So yeah, you would get a blue ball Gordon type of game. Wednesday would be probably I guess back to Javier, I'm assuming, right? So that's what you're looking at for maybe.
Who knows?
First things first, though, you have to take care of business. You got to sweep the Angels. You have to, and then you got to hope that Boston does you a solid. If Alex Bregman can go out there and just hit bombs almost every at bat, doubles, just take care of the Detroit, that'd be cool. We'll see what happens on Sunday, man. Like that's really all. That's really all we can do. All we can do right now is sweep the Angels. On Sunday, right?
Yeah,
look, man.
Skubal's scheduled to pitch on Saturday, if I'm correct.
What is Crochet? I wonder if Crochet's pitching this weekend.
Crochet's on Sunday.
That might be I might be watching that game. That might be that might be the flex if they flex to ESPN at night.
For sure.
That's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Dude, we are, again, I talked about it on Sunday. We're 98 subscribers. We're trying to get to 100. Tell your friends, family, send out the link. Follow us on YouTube. Trying to get to 100 before the season's over. Hopefully we have more than just the next 3 days, but we'll be back on Sunday. You got me and Bryles. Actually, I'm sorry. You have me and Blake Snell. Me and Blake Snell on Sunday.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Not the real Blake Snell. He got compared looks wise to Blake Snell, so not the real Blake Snell. But yeah, me and Bryles on Sunday. We'll recap this season, man. We'll see. Hopefully on Sunday we are we're talking about Tuesday's wild card, man. Until then, you guys have a great rest of your week. Happy Friday tomorrow. Have a great weekend. I'm PK, and that's Mr. Blake Snell. Sweet B Bones Bryles. You guys have a good rest of your evening.
Go Stros and hook 'em.
They got Florida. You got Florida this weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Struggling Florida.
Yeah. Well, UT's offense is the same too.